want to thank you very much for receiving us and spending time with us today. So I have just a small gift for you from all of us. It's a little broadside about African American history in Atlanta, some pecans, and also some maple syrup from the United States.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 가.
Dharamsala incidents
어, 싫어요, 우리. 어? 빨리 바랍니다. 싫어요, 우리. 싫어요, 우리. 남들 리우니바 디 오면 숨도 남들 참아 남들 리우니바 second chapter 디 페이지 오면 숨디 참을 지원 돌아 펜셔 넘버 디시 겹사 되기 디셔시 중요하리 one particular text the Dharmakirti's text the second chapter, actually some detailed commentary about the Dignak's text, about epistemology, wonderful. So there is some going to treasure.
The salutation verse of the Abhidhamma Samuccaya, Brahmana Samuccaya by Dignaka.
Oh. So that's wonderful. I think explanation which mentioned in Lamrim Chijung, not adequate. So Dignak's, to say that one sentence, or actually the two verse. Samarkyuba, Drola Penshaba, Damba Deshikyo. So wonderful. So I think really worthwhile teach, isn't that? And Abhidhamma Sama Kalangara. Abhisamaya Kalangara. Is a very, very important text, but very sophisticated. The subject so vast, difficult. So sometimes we need one way the thorough explanation about the vast subject. At the same time, some sort of kasoda take some essence. So indeed, I am very happy. Again, meet some group from Emory University, as your program. So wonderful. Then a special greeting as a honorary kaza.
Distinguished professor.
Kaza.
Presidential distinguished professor.
Distinguished professor of your university. So in that name, special greetings. But meantime, the very day when I received that sort of honorary degree, I mentioned one way I feel great honor and feel very happy, but actually I'm a very, very hopeless professor. Firstly, no sufficient time to prepare, and secondly, I'm quite lazy. So just I mentioned this to some my friend I met. You see, the person, one Hindu practitioner, he spent, I think, around about 3 hours meditation. Then I told him, me also, you see, 4 or 5 hours meditation. But sometimes I feel that too much time for meditation, so that if you do not meditate properly or progressively, then 5 hours meditation is a waste of time. I told him like that. So, I think firstly, you are showing interest about Tibetan culture. Tibetan culture very much based on Buddhism. Buddhism which we study and practice is directly come from Nalanda tradition. So Nalanda, I think in early period, I think it become really, I think, best institution for study, mainly Buddhist philosophy, and then also some other subjects, medicine, of course, grammar, and many other, I think including some chemistry work, like that. So that remain, I think, few centuries as a top learning center. So 8th century, Tibetan emperor, Trisong Tezin, he invited, I think almost at that time, 8th century, I think best scholar of Nalanda institution, Shantarakshita, invited. Then Shantarakshita, his age, according Indian historian, his age already around 70 years old, quite old. And then, of course, at that time, no airplane, no motor. So, by walk and best horse and yak, some area. And when we're passing through mountain, yak is the best. They are sort of hooves. Is something quite sort of well equipped on rocky area. I also have some experiences. So the right horse on plane, very good. Chop, 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 chop. Very good. And especially, you see, when a little bit faster, you see, there are kasatis. There,
The main, now the main, the whole head.
And a little faster, you see, that go like that. So you feel very fresh and full of energy like that. When you see the horse a little bit tired, and go like that, trot, trot. We also feel sleepy. But on rocky area, more dangerous. Yak or zo, very smooth. Because of the tanzam research.
They don't feel tired.
Wonderful. So I think the Tibetan emperor, I think, must provide one yak when he invited to Lhasa, like that. So therefore, and then we Tibetan also, you see, I think, sincerely follow his instruction. So we pay much attention, study, not just prayer, faith, study, study, study. So till now, in order to become as an authentic scholar, you need 20, 30 years study. the way study, firstly, the root text learned by heart, memorized. Then commentary, each word explained. Then debate, a dialectical debate, like that. So, our system, the typical Nalanda tradition, we very much sort of emphasis dialectical sort of discussion. So therefore, all those the summation.
Now, the text on logic and epistemology.
I think in Chinese tradition, one short text wrote by Dignac, Rigo, that seems to say available, Chinese translation. But the rest of Dignac's main text and Dharmakirti's the
7 treatises on logic and epistemology by Dharamsala were not translated into Chinese.
So, and then those Pali tradition, of course, they not much pay attention about the Sanskrit tradition, Sanskrit text. And China, and through China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, all these, which is the same, the Abhisamaya Alankara. Actually, the root text of Abhisamaya Alankara is the Panchaparamita Sutra. That is something common, all these countries. But the epistemology, logic, that's, I think, more complete translation, only in Tibet. So then, Tibetan Buddhist tradition is become something unique, just one, unique, like that. So the epistemology really help us sharpening our mind. This is debate. The way carried debate is always try to contradiction from others' viewpoint. So try to find a sort of false of other sort of view. Then debate like that. So that helpful, sharpening our mind. I was told one Bhutanese, I think daughter of one Bhutanese officials, she sort of joined some Bhutanese, listen some teaching from one Tibetan scholar. So she participated. Then gradually she also learned the dialectic sort of the debate. So her sort of study, a special study is law. So then later she told to some friend when she sort of practiced lawyer, her sort of knowledge about the dialectic sort of knowledge is immense helpful. So these are not just like a part of religious practice, but these are actually part of education and academic sharpening our mind. So it is applicable to, I think, in all subjects. Clear. No. So this is very helpful to develop investigation. This very room, number of occasions you see discussion with scientists. So quite often you see these top scholars or scientists, you see when they make presentation with full sort of confidence about their own subject, their own paper. we listen carefully. Then, after their presentation, then usually we start discussions. So then, so with respect and a gentle way, raise some little contradiction here and there. Then those sort of scholars, they actually express, no, oh, I have to think this more seriously. It happened like that. So therefore, of course, those monk students, they have not much sort of knowledge about modern science on these things, something new. But still, they have this sort of ability to sort of investigate, to analyze like that. So that I want to share with you. And then me personally, my 3 commitments. Number 1 commitment, as a human being, I always telling everywhere when I give talk. Now we need sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. I think too much emphasis, we and they, actually create a lot of problem. No help solving our problem. Creates more problem. If you too much emphasis, we and they. So finally, self-centered, even same family, one person, too much self-centered attitude, even family will not get real peaceful, real happy family, isn't it? So all problem, actually, not different views or different concept or different faith, but narrow, self-centered attitude. That's really source of problem. If we carry that, then religion also then become the source of problem, isn't it? So therefore, we really need now problem. Like I think the Malaysia plane is disappear. Now Japan, China, usually it's very difficult relations, but now this matter also you see because of joint effort. And then Australia, of course, and then Indonesia, and then America, and I think British also. I think that kind of cooperation really we need. One plane disappear, about 230, right, 39 life. Of course, serious. But the concern of 7 billion human beings, we really need genuine cooperation, not divide. Isn't it? So therefore, we really need. I think the spirit is there. Human history, like hospital, never discriminate. You come from this nation, from where? So your nationality or your belief. Never ask, isn't it? Any patient come, accept, and give treatment. So our spirit is there. So now that must extend. This is number 1 commitment. Second commitment, as a Buddhist, promotion of religious harmony. The old major religious tradition. In philosophical field, differences. But the purpose of these different philosophical views is same, to develop full conviction about the value of compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, simplicity, these things. So for that practice, use different philosophy. Some say there's creator. We are just
We're just creation.
Creation. And also I think in order to give us some kind of enthusiasm, the concept of creator, very helpful. You see, since Creator created us, so we also, each of us, have some kind of spark of Creator, isn't it? We carry Father's gene, something like that. God creates us, so we also have some kind of spark right now of God. So God means infinite love. So everyone have that potential. Then, non-theistic religion, no creator, no concept of creator, but rather self-creation. But at the same time, emphasis. If you carry good action, good motivation, you get benefit. So everything depends on yourself. That way of approach, to some people, very effective. So, different contradictory sort of method, but same goal. Okay. I think two years ago, I was in South India. One occasion in Bangalore, some Indian spiritual leader who really committed immense sort of help to thousands of students, provide meal. Wonderful. So they invited me, and then I visited their sort of headquarters and some discussions, and their temple also. Then I have some sort of talk or the discussion, right? Casual talk with that sadhu. And I told him, the training of mind, single-pointed mind, and analytical sort of meditation, these are common Hindus and Buddhists. And then also the three trainings, Shila, Samadhi, Paranja, same, Hindus and Buddhists. The difference is Atma and Anatma, self, independent self, and absence of independent self. That's the differences. Then I told him, this is private business. You believe independent self. Good, you believe that. I believe selflessness. That's much helpful. So I believe that. So that's private business. No problem. So he says, those people who believe creator, that's their business. We do not believe creator. Okay, that's very good. So our common practice is be kind person, honest person, truthful person. Clear. So then, no problem. So that's my way to promoting religious harmony. And then third, as a Tibetan, now, as far as political responsibility is concerned, I completely retired now. Since 2001, semi-retired. So the 2011, now completely retired now. But you see, my main concern is, you see, still I'm Tibetan. So therefore, you see, as a Tibetan, I feel the Tibetan sort of culture or language, I think the Tibetan language is now today, as far as Buddhist, the language which explains about Buddhist philosophy is concerned, I think the Tibetan language is the best language, isn't it? I think all translation from Sanskrit to Tibetan, I think very precise, very authentic. Now many scholars. So you also scholar. So what do you find? A Chinese translation, Tibetan translation. I think Tibetan translation, many scholars say Tibetan translation is more authentic, isn't it? More clear, like that. So you see this language, as far as Nalanda tradition is concerned, I think best language. Explain or Kasota study like that. So it is really worthwhile to preserve. So that's 3 commitments. So I just share, you see, my own commitment to you and you as our friend or my friend. and think these things and make, whatever way, make some contribution, promotion of sense of oneness of humanity, your own way. The change will not come from order, but individual. Finally, individual have the responsibility. We start, share this concept with our friend. From 1 person, 10 person, 10 person, 100 person, 100 person, 1,000 person, like that. Then also we seriously, with help of scientists and educationists, and including you, your institution, your university, we are seriously now committing, making some kind of secular ethics, education about secular ethics. Now some questions.
So please start with your question.
Your Holiness, what is the most important thing a student can learn from a teacher and that a teacher can learn from a student?
가져오사. 이게 I think, you see, the Arya Deva, and 400 verses, mentioned the student, teacher, must sort of develop genuine sense of concern of student. I think the reality of student is something to learn. Lama said is,
The student in Tibetan is called Lama, someone who needs to learn from somebody else.
So therefore, the teacher should have full responsibility or sense of concern of how to help them, number one. Then way to help according to the students, you see, different nature. Some are more sharp mind, some less, some more patience, some are less patience. So you see, accordingly, judging the individual nature. Then one verse I mentioned, if the student a little bit angry type, then you should pay more attention about compassion on these things. A student a little bit too much proud, then you need a little bit it mentioned like that. So the ultimate motivation is the best way to help them. So once the teacher really shows genuine sense of responsibility, sense of concern of their well-being, then student automatically show more respect, more trust. So I think first, it is wrong to expect something right attitude from student is wrong. Teacher side must show the right kind of attitude. Then response from student side come. So then actually good relation with trust, with respect, student, teacher, then I think study will be very, very successful. And then also you see the teaching of moral ethics, not just by word, by through action. Next question.
Your Holiness, what is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
Kasa. Beautiful face. One Nobel laureate, the Kasa Kong sent Kasa. What? The Betty William. Barry William Marve, Parish, Barry William. Since you see, we become very close friend. One time, one interview, some experience. Barry William is explained in Ireland, some sort of fighting, some children killed. That moment, she felt some kind of determination. Now I must do something for children. When she explained that, tear comes. So this is not sort of mere a nice statement, but real feeling, expression of real feeling. Then I develop genuine respect. So we become a very close friend. Then she quite often is telling me, she loves me, she loves me. Then one day she told me she wants to marry with me. So then I told her, of course this is both sides, it's a joke. So then I respond sure. Oh, too old now. You are too old. Then next time we met in New York, she brought her daughter. So then she told me, now young girl is here. I think beautiful. External beautiful. That's not important. Some water to it. There was water to it. So, again, you see, when I give talk, I teasing these young sort of girls. External beauty is important, no question. But internal beauty is more important. Without internal beauty, just on the basis of external beauty, marriage, then that will not be happy marriage. Within a few days, quarrel may start, and then eventually divorce. Some of my friend, some American, I think 3 times, 4 times remarriage survey, new marriage survey. 4 times. Mother, divorce, again marriage, new couple, rather, new friend. So, some of them have children. It's quite difficult. The children, you see, they fully trust their parent, and then parent divide. I think something very, very sad. So in any way, in order to have happy marriage, not only happy marriage, but long-lasting marriage, is inner beauty is the key factor. So then, more compassionate person, genuine compassionate, like Mother Teresa and her follower. I met a number of them, totally dedicated, serving to people, particularly poor people. So that's a real beauty, real beauty. Although affection is common with animal, even birds. But these birds, animal, they cannot extend their affection to strangers, to different species of mammals. We human beings, biologically, we also have the affection that's oriented about others' attitude. So that love, compassion, only towards their friend. With help of human intelligence, now for example, oneness of humanity, thinking more these things, then you can extend your love and affection to entire humanity, including your enemy. We have that ability because of this intelligence, isn't it? So these Christian brothers, sisters, totally dedicated because of their life for well-being, serving for others. That's the real beauty. When we saw these things, and you have tremendous sorrow because of the admiration and sort of the satisfaction. We need that kind of sorrow because of the dedication. Then that's the real basis of our hope of future. Not technology, not money, not military power, but that inner beauty. It is real ultimate source of our hope. We have that biologically, then this intelligence. So through education, so educate people. That's ultimate source of happy life, happy world. That's the ultimate source or strength of build happy 21st century. Clear? So the education center, all education sort of institution have very, very important to cultivate, to educate these things. Of course, other technology, these things are very, very important. But ultimately, this world, happy world, then each individual naturally be happy. I just met one Indian lawyer, Justice. He mentioned he come from poorest poor. Right. No land, just one room. And his father, some education, by himself, social level. Then, so when he explained his own, in Haryana, quite near, really, because of the caste system, the upper caste, all land owned by these people. And because of that, you see, they become rich and quite influential. The poor, no land, no one help, and these poor people cannot meal together with upper people, upper class people. So they almost, you see, because of that, me members of that.
They are almost like outcasts.
So when he explained that, then recently I was in Delhi to participate because of leprosy.
In a leprosy colony.
And one Japanese rich family, Sasakawa. Since he also is a sponsor the Forum of 2000 in Czechoslovakia, in Czech Republic. So since then I know him. So recently he come to see me and he told me he now sponsoring, helping those organizations who are helping leprosy people. And he invited. Now this time I went there. As soon as I come out from my car, I saw my friend. Then instead of approach them, I approached to those sick people. Because of the lost hand, finger, and some wound. Not outside because of the the chat.
Because of the leprosy deformed.
I approached them, and my tear come. Very sad. These are human beings. The society sometimes distance from these people. Never shake hand. I shake hand and also touch because of the head. Some are blind. So those people who dedicated serving these people are the real beauty of human being. Really wonderful. So then because the Sasakawa, I know him, so I mentioned, you're a millionaire, perhaps I don't know, billionaire or millionaire, I think millionaire. So I told him, your money is very useful. Still we need, you make more money than spend to these poor people. Otherwise, you see, those millionaire, the money used for their luxurious lifestyle, it's silly. Waste of money, isn't it? Some American billionaire, I think, spend a lot of money, isn't it, for helping. So that's very good. So I told them, so just to see, judge. After we discussing, after listen, you see his story. Then I promise, now I will be Kurangati because of Munichigi. So he already start very small school. About 70 children. So then I told him, now this year should extend 200 or 150. Then classroom, the money matter, my trust, about 500,000. I can donate. Then next few years, look how many progress. So that's our nature duty. No account faith, no account nationality, still a human being. I think we have that kind of ability. So in the past, American Peace Corps, so different places, many of them I know, totally dedicated to the local people, because of helping to the local people. I suggested to Japanese, firstly, young Japanese student in school should learn English. Then secondly, those speak some knowledge about English, then you see they can work in different places. And then something like Peace Corps, you see, should start. Some say, some Japanese organizations are doing that. So otherwise, you see, this small island, big population, even like that, then suicide. A lot of depression and loneliness, particularly among the younger students. So once you see they learn English, then you see much easier go outside, communicate with other people. And then they have the education ability and instrument and help Africa or Middle East in this different area. Then you see the young Japanese feel more the self-confidence. Now I can be very useful. So then they will realize their own living standard in their own country, education and everything very good. Then they get more satisfaction, isn't it? Otherwise, there's very dense populated area, small, and the house also small, their physical also small, like that. Okay, next question. Oh.
I'm sorry. Your Holiness. Oh. Your Holiness. Many people define progress as technological and economic development. What is your definition of progress? And what would this progress look like in our contemporary world?
I already mentioned, ultimate source of happy life. Individual level, family level, community level, or finally global level. The ultimate source of happiness is inner peace. And world peace also. World peace must be built through inner peace. Look, the materialistic sort of society, their life more oriented about material value, isn't it? Of course, those people who have religious sort of belief and more serious believer, then that is something different. Otherwise, you see, general people always talk money like that. And only sort of talk about money, these things, power, and then greedy, jealousy. That brings extreme competition. So then distrust, these things will happen. And also fear. So therefore, you see, now that also, I feel, I often telling, the very existence of our education system is very much oriented about material value. Not adequate education about warm-heartedness or inner value. So usually these inner value, we always say, put on the shoulder of religious people. Now education. Religion now, according to some report, out of 7 billion human beings, 1 billion, over 1 billion are non-believer. And then, frankly speaking, even 6 billion believer among them, quite a number of corrupted believer. Even religious leaders. Recently, the His Holiness Pope dismissed one German bishop. German bishop. You see, his lifestyle, is a very luxurious lifestyle. So that against the Catholic monks' sort of way of life. Simplicity is the key factor. So His Holiness Pope is found a big contradiction. As a bishop, and I think it's quite easily understandable. In church, he may teach simplicity or contentment, but his own life, luxurious life, that's hypocritical way. So this clearly shows they are supposed believer, but lacking genuine faith or conviction about moral principles. I often is telling my Indian friends, you see, basically or generally, Indian people are very religious-minded people. In each room, house is some statues of their God. So every morning they pray, and offering some flowers or incense like that. I teaching to my Indian friend. It seems like you pray to God, please help me, my corrupted life should be successful. How can? Compassionate God there, I think God feel sad, isn't it? I often is telling one story. A few years ago, I met some Cuban refugee who settled in Florida, I think Florida. So they are very, very Catholic, religious-minded family. Wonderful. So they told me they're very much sort of against Fidel Castro. So they told me every morning they pray to God, please, Fidel Castro, to bring heaven as soon as possible. It's quite nice, you see. One way, resented. One way, compassionate. Good, isn't it? Oh. So I'm telling you, see, these Indian people, you see, you should pray to God. These corrupted people should bring to heaven sooner the better. So religion, traditional way is not sufficient. So this is not religion itself is something lacking. No, I think we are not adequate, bring conviction about this inner value. Now that must sort of bring through education, through secular education. So that's, I think, very, very important. So that's my view. Because of existing education system, it's very much oriented about material value. The generation who coming from that kind of education, then not much pay attention about inner value. At the early life, affection from our mother is something very, very alive. Then grown up, that, because of dormant survey, these things, basic human sort of values, these dormant. Then only intelligence develop. Then the society, the more aggressiveness, extreme, because of the extreme competitive sort of society. Then you see that basic human value, biologically equipped there, that remain sort of not further developed. Then the other negative emotion develop further. So therefore, at the beginning, everybody, you see, nurtured by our mother's affection or parent affection, like that. So then join school or kindergarten. Further sort of the effort, further remind these values are very, very important for your health, for your happy life, for your peace of mind. And explain, according to some scientist, one occasion scientist from Emory University, you see, I met here, you see, told me the constant fear, anger, hatred is actually eating our immune system. That is scientific finding. And one my friend, American, Aaron Beck, many years ago I met him. At that time his age 84. He gave me one book, his own writing book, something like we are a prisoner of anger or something like that. Or prisoner, anger prisoner or something like that.
Prisoners of hate.
Or prisoners of hate. And he told me, while we had our discussions, he told me, when we develop anger, the object which we feel angry appears very negative. Actually, 90% of that negativeness is your own mental projection, he mentioned. So, that's exactly, Nagarjuna also mentioned that. Very clear. So scientists also now, you see, through their experiment or investigation, research work, you see, they found these negative emotions are very bad for our health. And the negative emotion itself is very much mental projection. So education, immense help to reduce these things. So we already sort of working. We already sort of committed, you see, further research, how to put in secular education sort of field, the ethics. Ethics based on any religion, then it becomes difficult to secular education field. So only choice is ethics based on secular way. So now here I must mention, according to Indian understanding about secular is respect all religion and also respect non-believer In the West, secular, you see, gives the impression some distance from religion or disrespect religion. So Indian constitution also, you see, based on secularism. Because India, multi-religious community. So the ethics, important. But ethics based on one religion, then it becomes difficult. Therefore, you see, those great sort of the lawyers or thinkers, you see, they sort of actually made this constitution based on secular. So according to Indian understanding, secular respect, secular means respect all religion and also respect non-believer. I think that's very, very realistic approach. And that way of approach about inner value is easily can be in the secular education field. So we are working with help of some scientists, some educationists. Scientists mainly from America. I often used to telling America in technological field, a lot of innovations, innovation, you see, developed, found in America. Now education field, this secular education should start from America. So America, as a leading nation of free world, and technological field, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of sort of innovation. So now education field also, some scientists like Richard Davidson, you may have heard, Richard Davidson, the great sort of brain specialist. One, I think a few years ago, did a meet-journal.
He was one of the 100 most influential people.
Sometimes Time magazine mentioned like that. So his name included. Wonderful scientist. And then Arthur Zian, now head of our organization, a great scientist. Now they fully committed. They start the secular ethics through education. Good. Last question? Last way. Oh, yes. Okay. No? Fourth, yes. Fifth way. Five. Yes.
Your Holiness, what specific aspects of other religions and spiritual practices do you draw inspiration from or admire?
Kasa. I think, as I mentioned earlier, strictly speaking, I'm non-believer as Buddhist, and not only Buddhist, we trained these texts, many texts wrote by Nalanda masters. So they raise all the contradictions of traditional religions, including the concept of creator and independent self. A lot of debate. So we trained that, we learned that. However, as I mentioned earlier, I really admire all those major institutions. Among their followers, really wonderful people we can see. So all their sort of inner strength come from their faith. So all these major faiths have same potential to develop inner peace and inner strength. Wonderful. Then practical level, we, since many years, I often used to telling Tibetan monks, nuns, we should learn from Christian monks, nuns. They totally dedicated about education field and health field. I think as far as education field, I think Christian brothers, sisters, I think made the greatest contribution regarding education, whole world, everywhere. Sometimes they also carry conversion That's a little bit difficulties. One time I was in Kasa, Mormons are there. Correct? Mormons are there. Mormon. Oh. They invited me. So I visited, I met their leader at their headquarters. And then meantime, one public talk. And at public talk, as usual, I mentioned, the old religion, the main practice is the same. Then conversion is concerned. Those area, no particular religion or simple indigenous religion, then Christianity is much sort of sophisticated. So, very good. Conversion or spread Christianity. Okay, very good. Helpful. Then those area, the strong traditions of religion, like Hinduism and Buddhism and some other Jainism like that, then conversion is not very worthy. So if this side try to propagate their religion, and that side also is to propagate, then finally clash. So not good. I mentioned that. Meanwhile, I little bit sort of kasurda, hesitant. But then audience, that. So Mormon organization, I think quite active, isn't it? The missionary work, isn't it? Like that. So we admire some of their practice. Really, very practical. Sometimes we Buddhist, we Tibetan Buddhist, you see, talks a lot, much, but the actual sort of implementation sometimes lacking. Now some changing start. Like that. Fifth question.
Your Holiness, how do you balance the different facets of your position as Dalai Lama, and how do you envision the role of future Dalai Lamas?
Future Dalai Lama, as early as 69, on my official 10th March statement, I mentioned the very institution of Dalai Lama should continue or not up to Tibetan people. If people feel this institution now no longer much relevant, then this automatically cease, no problem. Then occasionally religious leader, Tibetan different sort of tradition, Satya, Nyingma, Gergyu, Gilu, and then last few years among our discussion, one topic about future Dalai Lama or Dalai Lama institution also is involved. So then I think 2 years ago, one of our meeting, then we finalized. Now my age reach around 90. Then another our meeting, then finalize. We are going to finalize. So one official statement also, you see, then circulated like that. So like that. So whether Dalai Lama institution should continue or not, depend on the circumstances. And if this institution remain, then the question, how to choose the successor? That also is an open question. We also can follow, like Pope's selection. Very healthy among the senior leaders, and they choose through vote. Very good. Sometimes you see Tibetan reincarnation, that sort of pattern. Number of Lama, the previous Lama, wonderful Lama, their reincarnation, disgrace. Isn't it? So I do not want this 14th Dalai Lama, I think quite well popular. That 15th Dalai Lama, if disgraced 15th Dalai Lama comes, and then very bad. So So therefore, better either stop. I think one great Lama, Kasati, Rangju Lama, Kempo Jimmy Pizo, Lorung, the Nima Lama. One day, you see, he, big sort of teaching, big gathering, he mentioned one of his writing, show, this is my reincarnation. After me, you read this my reincarnation. I will not come. If my reincarnation come, then the reincarnated the boy himself, you see, kasota, because show some sort of indication, not necessarily go to find out, he mentioned. I think that's wonderful. Then another is the Nima Lama. He his sort of the way of practice is young sort of people, the age around 15, 20, then he recognizes reincarnation. So already quite sure. Now this person, study is good, behavior is very good, so this worthwhile, kasota, recognize as a reincarnation. So that's very good. Otherwise, the young Lama, then I think in India also you see few cases. Initially, you see very good sort of kasota, very bright young boy. Now eventually went to America, settled there with wife, and then also some, you see, I think some cases still wear monk's dress, but with wife, and sometimes very critical about Dharma. So no use. And I think unfortunately in Tibetan society, Lama institution almost become society sort of status, social status. I think that's very unfortunate, very unfortunate. In India, no such tradition. And Tibetan also, you see, we have the one sort of terminology, Rangjung Lama.
It's like self-evolved Lama.
That's very good. Through study, through practice, then become a spiritual leader. That's Rangjung Lama. Not chosen or something like that. So then also, many years ago, I think 15, 20 years ago, in Paris, one women's magazine interviewed me and then asked me, in the future Dalai Lama, can be any women Dalai Lama. And I told, yes, very possible. If the circumstances is such, women Dalai Lama is more, useful, then why not? Then also I mentioned, because in Tibetan tradition, like something Dojapharma, I think at least 600-700 years, always female reincarnation, very high Lama. And like her, there are, I think, few cases, female, high reincarnated Lama. So it is not new. So if the circumstances such is in the female Dalai Lama can be more useful, that also is, I have some reason. Now we need, our time, we need a special effort to promote compassion. For that reason, biologically, female have more potential to provide affection, biologically. Female, more sensitive, others' pains or suffering. That also scientists sort of examine, they found. the one movie picture, very painful sort of experience, one movie. Then one male, one female, watch the physical heart beating of these things. Female response is much, much stronger than the male. Then obviously, all past history, those great heroes, actually murderer, 1,000 people killed mercilessly, that sometimes we call hero. Most of them male. And hospital nurses, most of them female. And then mother, who give us milk, is mother. And few months, keep here, mother, not father. Father enjoy, then okay, finished. Perhaps good father make more money and give mother. That's okay. Otherwise, you see, physically, mother really bad. No. 7 months and 7 years, even birds and dogs. I think you can see on street, male dogs always see strong. The female dogs,
They look very thin when they have given birth to.
because it's birth and milk, unless you see sufficient food, then difficult. That's a biological factor. So therefore, time at a time we need special effort for promotion of human affection, human love. Female should be active, should take more active role promotion of these things. So, judging that sort of situation, Dalai Lama, if the institution should remain, and then possible. Then at that time, I teach that reporter, if Dalai Lama, future Dalai Lama come as a female, reincarnation female, then will be very, very attractive female. Something female like that. I think not people hearing Dalai Lama, very wonderful. Come, sing. Like that. May not be much because may not much may not be much
attention.
much attraction. Thank you very much.